Hello, I'm Elizabeth Ferguson. I'm the stay maker here in London town. My husband Alexander Ferguson had been the stay maker and the tailor for many, many years, but sadly he passed away in October of 1770. So I took over his stay making business, and my oldest son Alexander Jr. took over the tailoring business. Now, stay making was typically a man's job because there was a lot of physical work. So first of all, what are stays? Stays are what you would think of in the modern times as a corset. And they were typically made for your body by a professional stay maker who custom fit the stays to your body. In the 18th century, stays were boned completely around, and that is where most of the physical labor came in because boning was made from whale baleen. Now, here is a piece of whale baleen. Baleen comes from baleen whales. It's part of their mouth. It's keratin, like our fingernails, and they used it as a filter to filter krill out of the water. And when the whales were killed for many uses, including the oil, the baleen plates were removed and they were sold by the ship captains when they came into port, and they were typically bought by stay makers. So the object was to take this, which is a very small piece of baleen, and turn it into the boning, which is nice and flexible and polished. And that is what was used in the stays. Now, of course, in modern times, we cannot use baleen. But stays were first stitched in individual pieces that had 3 layers, an outer fabric and 2 canvas layers. And I'm currently hand stitching these boning channels here. And I have some completed layers where I just have reed boning in here to show it. I've stitched these pieces together, and I will continue doing that until it goes completely around my body. I'm using reed because reed was a material that was used in the 18th century, often by lower sorts, but it was not as common as baleen. Another form of boning was wood splint. This is ash splint that could have been used. But these are things that modern stay makers can use that are very much an 18th century thing. So once these get trimmed off, I will bind the stays in leather. Here's a different style of stays. You can see they're bound in leather. And then a linen lining goes on the inside. And the reason we do the lining last is because the lining is what's going to probably get perspiration on it. And at some point, the lining will need to be removed and possibly replaced. Stays were an investment, so you did what you could to keep them in good shape. Now, it's not uncommon for the boning to sometimes break, in which case you would take your stays back to your stay maker who would do a repair. If you gained or lost a lot of weight, you would take them back and either have them remade, or he would adjust them, take out pieces, and whatever he had to do to make them fit. So I hope you've learned something about 18th century stays and stay making.